Patch note 1.8.86 just dropped in the advanced server with some major changes. Yes guys, after an eternity, the much awaited Phoveous Revamp is finally here, ready for testing with its new look and new redesigned skill sets. To add to Yin Main's collection, new surveys for his skins are also here. Season 33 preview and Joehead season skin have also been dropped. So let's have a glance over them all in this video. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video we will look into all the changes that came along with patch note 1.8.86. Let's start this video with the revamped hero Chains of Sin Phoveus. Let's check his passive Asteros Eye first. Phoveus detects any enemy hero that blinks, dashes or is displaced near him every certain amount of time. He gains a burst of movement speed and his next basic attack allows him to charge at the target and knock them back. Time to see his newly revamped skill 1, Demonic Impact. Phoveus slams his monolith into the ground, dealing damage to enemies in the area and applying a significant slow. If this skill hits an enemy, Phoveus cooldown for the next Demonic Impact is reduced. Additionally, it leaves behind an Asteros Eye that pulls enemies to the center and deal damage. The shield gained from hitting an enemy hero has been removed. Up next is his new skill 2, Dark Wave. Phoveus lowers his monolith and unleashes a wave of demonic power in the target direction, knocking enemies airborne and dragging them towards him while dealing damage. Next, we have his ultimate Infernal Pursuit. This skill has no cooldown but can only be cast on displaced enemies with a certain amount of time. Phoveus leaps up and slams down at the target, dealing massive damage to enemies in the area while recovering a portion of his lost HP. Let's move on to hero adjustments. First, we have Zuzin, who is being adjusted again. Her passive has been buffed, maximum Crimson Butterflies increased by 10, mana restored by Crimson Butterflies changed to 0.25 seconds. Her attributes have received a nerf. Base physical defense reduced by 5. Her skill 2 is being buffed. Damage interval reduced from 0.33 seconds to 0.25 seconds. Her ultimate is being nerfed. The shield effect has been removed. Damage interval increased by 0.5 seconds. Yi Sun-shin receives another buff. As skill 1 is being adjusted, cooldown reduced by 1.5 in the early game and late game. Control immunity duration reduced by 0.6 seconds, matching displacement duration. As skill 2 is also buffed, cooldown reduced from 11 seconds at all levels to 11 to 8.5 seconds. Chao has received another buff. His passive is buffed. Distance movement required to enhance basic attack reduced from 10 to 5. New effect, enhanced basic attack can reduce the enemy's defense by 15 for 3 seconds up to 2 stacks. As skill 2 has received a nerf. Remove the effect of increasing physical penetration on himself. Finally, his ultimate has been nerfed. Maximum knockback distance for the first stage reduced by 1. Eve has finally been buffed. Her skill 1 has received a nice buff. Damage bonus increased by 10% of the total magic power. Her skill 2 has also been buffed. Slow increased by 5% in the early game and 30% in the late game. Nana is being adjusted. Her skill 2 is buffed. Magic defense reduction of transformed enemies increased from 25% to 25% to 35%. Slow for transformed enemies increased by 20%. New effect removes movement speed boost on the target. Her ultimate has received a nerf. Slow effect reduced by 20%, damage reduced by 40 in the early game and 60 in the late game. The magic power bonus has also been cut down by 20. Xavier has been nerfed. As skill 1 has received a nerf. Mana cost reduced by 10 in the early game and 20 in the late game. Damage bonus reduced by 20% of the total magic power. Aurora has been buffed. Her skill 1 has received a nice buff. Base damage increased by 50 in the early game and 150 in the late game. Hailstone damage increased by 20 in the late game. Low E has received a nerf. Her ultimate has been nerfed. Cooldown increased by 10 seconds in the early game and 20 seconds in the late game. Alice has been buffed. Her attributes have received a buff. Base mana increased by 257. Esmeralda has been nerfed. Her attributes have been nerfed. Physical defense growth reduced by 1.5 and magic defense growth also reduced by 1.5. Glow has been buffed. Skill 1 has been buffed. Effect adjustment recovers 4% of maximum HP when the explosion hits a target and double the amount of HP recovered when the explosion hits a hero. Joehead has been buffed. His passive has been buffed. Maximum stakes of Mecha Suppression reduced by 4. And each stake of Mecha Suppression increases all damage taken by enemies from 1% to 2%. Skill 2 has been buffed. Base shield increased by 125 in the early game. Alucard has received an unwanted nerf. His passive is being adjusted. Physical damage changed from 80 plus 125% of total physical attack to 140% of total physical attack. His ultimate is nerfed. Hybrid lifesteal gain reduced by 5% in the late game. Leo mode has received a buff. His enhanced skill 2 has been buffed. Cooldown reduced from 7 seconds at all levels to 7 to 6 seconds. The skill damage increased from 100 in the late game and the total physical attack bonus has been increased by 10%. Joy has received a buff. Ultimate has been buffed. Cooldown reduced by 12 seconds. Aman is buffed because he is receiving a skin. His skill 2 has been buffed. Cooldown reduced from 2 in the early game and 1.5 in the late game. Fredrin has received a nerf. His ultimate has been nerfed. Cooldown increased from 3 in the early game and 1 in the late game. Barrett has been nerfed. His passive has been nerfed. Physical and magic defense gained for each stake of Big Guy reduced from 2 to 6 to 1 to 3. Let's move on to Chip, who got buffed.
Where's the fire?
His survivability improved in multi-hero battles. The distance reduced between connecting portals and allies after using ultimate by 1.4 units.
The lab's on fire!
Next, we have Moscow, who is nerfed. Basic attacks no longer reduce the cooldown or skill 2. Nathan has been nerfed. The damage during ultimate has been reduced. The damage inherited by Shadow was reduced by 5% in the early game. The attack effect inherited reduced by half. Beatrix has been buffed. Her physical attack growth reduced by 1.5. She now also has smoother weapon switching in combat. Wanwan is nerfed. Her previous buff was reverted slightly. Basic attack speed reduced by 0.22. Rafaela is buffed. Reduced mana cost for skills. Skill 1 mana cost reduced from 40 in the early game and 75 in the late game. Skill 2 mana cost reduced by 20 in the early and late game. Let's move on to battlefield adjustments. To balance out early game invasions, the developers are making some changes. For the first 2 minutes of the match, damage taken by all the heroes in the enemy jungle is increased by 20%, while damage taken by the jungler in their own jungle is reduced by 15%. Winter Crown has been nerfed. Winter Crown's versatility has been a bit too strong, so developers slightly reducing its attributes. Adaptive attack has been nerfed by 15. Cloak of Destiny has been adjusted. Unique passive destiny has been adjusted. Stake condition has been changed to deal magic damage to heroes. Duration of each stake has been reduced by 2 seconds. Now let's check all other equipment adjustments. The icons of some new equipment have been optimized to better match their corresponding tiers. The numerical descriptions of some equipment has been optimized. The calculated values can now be viewed directly in the match.
Okay.
AFK determination criteria have been changed. To improve the match experience, the developers are making the criteria for determining in-match AFK behavior stricter. This should encourage all players to take every match seriously. Now let's check out all the emblems adjustments. Temporal Rain has been nerfed. The Temporal Rain talent has been a bit too powerful. The developers are reducing its effect while keeping its feature. The skill cooldown has been reduced by 1.5. Now let's check out the bug fixes. The indicator that appears on the minimap when using the sacred statue has been removed. An issue has been fixed where the Temporal Rain talent was incorrectly reducing the cooldown of the ultimate.
Okay.
The effect of the flicker spell in Brawl has been adjusted to be consistent with that in the standard mode. Training camp can now be quickly accessed directly from the hero interface.
I am the moonlight.
Nice.
Moving on to weekly free heroes. The weekly free heroes from 24th of May to 31st of May are as follows. The extra free heroes for Starlight members are as follows. Moving on to surveys. We have some epic and above tier surveys for none other than Yin.
I'm Yin, and I won't lose my...
The first design is named Made Scientist Quantum Realm Traveler, and boy oh boy, Yin looks cool as a Made Scientist. Not only do his glasses and six-pack abs looks cool, but his hands into digitized version of quantum bits look cool, especially those rings surrounding it. In Lear form, he puts on a face mask and changes its color tone to a more violet-based theme with the element of digital bits like those discs which are more rings made up of quantum bits. The next design is called Magnetic Storm Overload. The name fits the design perfectly with those hands who seem to just be overloaded with a lot of energy. Detail on his hair as well as his dress are well matched with his fist. But his Lear form is just on another level. He turns completely red and looks like an underworld demon, to be honest. His demonic fist looks scary, ready to devour the very essence of life. If you notice, the pattern on his chest is similar to the Stun series logo. Pretty interesting. The third design is called Monster Arena. This design has more of a traveler and ravager type of appeal to it. Yin suits looks like he is a voyager who has been to countless places, but his fists are a bit disappointing if you ask me. But all of it vanishes when I have a glance at his Lear form. It looks like a creature who is ready to devour you alive. Deadly, scary, and otherworldly at the same time. Even our civilization eater Jask will bow down in front of his Lear form. And the next design is called Mutant Beast Superhuman. Let me know in the comment section if you don't find Yin looking freaking cool in this design. The simplicity of the design while not overdoing things make this design unique, where he transforms into an armored beast with hairs just like the tail of the dragon. The design has a nice touch to it in both forms because it's not going over the top. And the last design is called Ultimate Martial Arts Asura. Yin looks like a mystical deity who has seen countless battles in his lifetime. The aura surrounding his feast gives a powerful feel, and his traditionally designed dress takes us back to the old times. But his Lear form, this is just on another level. Even our Asura King will have a hard time fighting this ancient beast ready to shower you with punches from his 6 arms. Golden aura surrounding him increases the intensity of this majestic feeling which we get while looking at the design. Which survey was your favorite out of them all? Yin mains, let me know in the comment section. Moving to other updates. Here's a glimpse of some of the assets of the M6 tournament. Next is the all-new revamped Phoveus. And this will be its artwork. Here's a look at the Season 33 free skin featuring Jawhead. This will be its artwork. Stay tuned for the season ending video which will be coming up soon. As you can see, we have Jawhead Season 33 skin being featured along with Zuzin. The season will be called Butterfly Shadow. This will be the Season 33 avatar border called Butterfly Shadow. Here's how Season 33 profile background will look like. And this will be for Mythical Glory and above players. Lastly, we have name card which will be redeemable for reaching Mythic, and this one will be for Mythical Glory. So what do you guys think about this update? Happy to see Jawhead getting the season skin. Share your thoughts down below. That will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting Kazuki Official.